Now, I've got some news for you that'll probably hurt your feelings, but that's what the truth tends to do. But after it hurts your feelings, it would definitely set you free. And that is, you are more than likely, no, scratch that. You are definitely sleeping with the enemy. Now, when you hear the statement sleep with the enemy, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, it's the person who's sleeping next to me, my spouse, my partner, whoever it is. I knew it. I could just sense, I could sense the devil was in him, right? That's probably what you're thinking. And that is partially a part of it, right? That is a big part of it in some cases. But that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today is much more specific and much more personal. And it is something that's actually going to free you. Something you can do something about, right? That's some good water right there. Make sure you drink some water today. Make sure to drink some water every day. Sleeping with the enemy, I mean, you are that enemy that you are sleeping with. You lay down with you every single night. And right next to you is your very worst enemy. And the reason why I say that is simple. The person that you sleep next to, that you go to sleep next to, spiritually or metaphysically speaking, the other aspect of you, the other side of you, right? The shadow side of you, the insecure, the angry, the resentful, the bitter, the frustrated, the one who holds on to the past, the one who does not forgive, the one who holds on to resentments, the one who will not let go of what happened. That individual is your enemy. And every night you go to sleep, if you do not reconcile with that enemy, you're going to wake up with them on your side even stronger than the day before. You're going to wake up with her on your side even more powerful and more consuming than ever before. Now, my mentor, Coach Bobby Bluford, make sure to check him out on YouTube or Instagram. Phenomenal content. He has this, I guess you would call it an analogy, where it's every single day that you're, let's say, stepping into the gym. Right behind you is the version of you that is the weaker version or the lower nature version, right? The ego version, maybe. The one that says, it's fine, you don't have to work out today. Just go back. The bed was so comfortable. Why are you doing all this? You look silly. You look stupid. Everybody's going to be looking at you funny. Why are you here in the first place? It's not working. That voice that is consistently going on in the background is a version of us that wants to keep us the very same. And that version is very real. And no matter what we do, if we do not deal with it and confront it head first, if we do not confront it as we would an enemy in battle, it's a lost cause. Most of us try to ignore it, right? Put our head in the sand. But we're actually feeding it. We're actually empowering it. Like, think about a bully. If you don't deal with that bully is going to continue to press you and press you and press you, right? There's a story that my pops told me when I was a little kid. There was somebody bullying me. I was maybe 3 years old, 4 years old or something like that. And he said, go and handle your business. And so I handle my business. I put the 1-2 combo on him. I put the KFC triple combo on him. And sure enough, the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, he never came back for more. He did not want more drumsticks after that combo. Let's just say that. And so it's the same thing with, this enemy or this proverbial enemy that we're sleeping with, the version of ourselves that is still holding on to the past, the one that is living within our emotional body, per se, within our own psychology, within our subconscious. The one that we are so afraid of, that we're scared to face and confront, that one is sleeping next to us every single night. And so you go to sleep that night and you're thinking through the day and you're running the day through your head and all the things you said and all the things other people said and all the people that you're angry at and how could she do this and remember when she did that. And then you start going on a spiral and thinking about things that happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he had the nerve. I can't believe she had the nerve. And the more you are feeding this thing, these thought processes, the more you're feeding that enemy. All you're doing is making it stronger, bigger, faster, more capable of beating you the next day when you wake up. And you want to live as you, but now you got your enemy standing in place of you. The one that you feed, right? We talk about these two wolves. There's a light wolf and a dark wolf. This ain't about race. Don't get triggered. If you feed the light wolf, you're feeding the light, then you're going to make that one stronger. If you feed the dark wolf, you're feeding the dark side of self, then you're going to make that part of you or that aspect of you stronger. And only we can make that decision day in and day out, right? Now, I know it's not easy because we have gone through 20, 30, 50, 70 years of subconscious programming, right? And running those same subconscious programs over and over again, running the same thoughts and emotions and thoughts over and over again, becoming addicted to those negative emotions, addicted to those negative thoughts. And we have rehearsed them so long and with so much intensity and with so much focus, even though it's subconscious or quote unquote on autopilot, we still give it intensity because we focus upon those things, right? We focus upon the traumas. We focus upon the negative circumstances. We focus upon the bad continuously and make it such a habit ingrained within us at a cellular level that when it's finally time to confront it, it feels like an impossible task. And this I understand. I have become a lot more empathetic to the process of change simply by realizing how hard it is to change even the smallest habit for myself, right? And I've changed a multitude of habits. I've come from being an individual who was a drug addict to completely clean and sober for close to 8 years now. And I've had no desire of going back because I've used a system of changing my actual identity as opposed to, keeping that identity of just a recovering individual, right? So I understand that it is a daunting, difficult task in order for you to truly eradicate that enemy, to start to starve that enemy out, right? I know that when you've been going to sleep every single night with hatred on your heart, it feels impossible to do anything else. It's almost like your body is just doing it automatically. And in essence, it is because you've trained it into yourself. But that doesn't mean that your emotions have control over you. It simply means you have not yet learned that you are actually the one in the driver's seat. It's just that this has become easier, just like any other habit, right? You can tell yourself, I just can't not pick the cookies up. No matter what I do, my body will pick the cookie up by itself. No, I understand that. I get it. You've programmed yourself to pick the cookie up as opposed to picking, let's say, the salad up or whatever it may be, right? Whatever anybody says is healthy nowadays. We change that every other week. This day and age, it's a carnivore or it's vegetarian or vegan, whatever. So you go from, I'm going to stop picking the cookie up. I'm going to pick, the healthy food up. And then you pick the cookie up. And then you go again and you pick the cookie up. And you think to yourself, man, I have no power over this. No, you do have power over it. It's just that it's easier. It's become more hardwired within your synapses, right? Within your neural pathways to pick up the cookie. I understand that. I get that. Trust me. Trust me. However, we are the only ones who can then make the decision to shift over or transmute that energy to become somebody else, right? Now, I just finished up for the second time a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being You. One of the most well thought out, well put together pieces of literature on literally how to overcome those old patterns of self. It is a brilliant work of art, and I suggest that you start listening to it or reading it now. Now I listen to an audio because I like to listen when I go to the gym and things of that nature. But you can pick the hard copy up, go support him because he's doing incredible work, healing people from ailments, all kinds of stuff. But what I picked up in there or reinstated within my practice was this thing of the power of meditation to actually transmute or transform those old emotions into new emotions. Right now, if you've been in any sort of meditation, you understand that you become the observer of your thoughts. But what's really happening is you're seeing the thoughts that you're used to having regularly, those negative thoughts and the negative emotions, and you're actually becoming an observer. You're seeing them as opposed to being in them. So it's almost like you're stepping outside of them and able to see them for exactly what they are. You still feel the feeling, but now you know, oh, that's insecurity. As opposed to insecurity taking you over and you're just thinking, I'm terrible. Nobody likes me. I'm not good enough. See, this person did and that person said, of course, I'm not good enough. Instead of being in that mentality, you're now saying, oh, that's insecurity. And that's how I feel when I am insecure. These are the thoughts that I have when I'm insecure. And you actually start to then take power away from those things, but you have to be willing to be honest about yourself. And I think that was one of the most powerful reinforcements for me, is this radical truth, right? Especially when it comes to when you get into the space of spirituality, and sometimes we like to hide behind the spiritual moniker, as opposed to being honest with ourselves and saying, this is where I am. These are the things that I am actually doing to myself, right? This is where I am emotionally. This is where I am psychologically. This is where I'm starting. However, this is where I want to go, right? I understand the power of positive affirmation. I understand the power of, positive thinking, etc. But it is missing something, and it is missing what truly gives it power, gives it legs, when we do not first do that initial work of first identifying where we're actually starting and why we're there in the first place. And then being willing to let go of those emotional responses. And meditation works as the most powerful form of redirecting or recreation of those emotions, practicing new emotions. And we think, oh, I'm not good at meditating. I'm not good at meditating. No, you are, because you're meditating all day. It's just that you're meditating most times on, things you're worried about. Like worry is a form of meditation. It is a fixation on a single ideal. You meditate all day long. It's just that you've been programmed and you continue to internalize meditating on things that do not serve you, things that are destructive, things that are toxic to your emotional body, your mental body, as well as your physical body. And for many people, unfortunately, those emotional strongholds or those emotional overloads end up being physical dis-ease, right? A lack of ease in the body when the body kicks out of homeostasis and now starts to form different ailments due to us harboring things emotionally and not regulating emotions in the right way and holding on to, these destructive and toxic emotions per se. And by the way, emotions are not your enemy. They're not bad or good. They're simply indicators of what's going on internally, right? Let's get that straight. I'm probably going to create just an entire video just on that subject because that's absolutely important to fully understand. But let's get back to the point of the enemy and just sleep with the enemy. So some of us start thinking, okay, I got somebody in my life right now, and they're the problem, right? Because we've been trained to blame because it's much easier than dealing with our own stuff. Keep that word there. So let's say we have a partner, we're married, whatever it is, and that person seems to be a very toxic individual, or they display toxic traits, right? And so we blame that person as a reason why we do what we're doing or we're not doing what we're doing. And I get it. Trust me. Right? You've actually found a clinical narcissist that you've attracted into your life, but you also have to remember there's a reason why you attracted that individual, and there's a reason why you allow that person into your life. And some of us will say, oh, they tricked me. You have to understand something. All of us have energy sensors, and we could become very dulled or we could become very far removed from our intuition. All of us have a sense of what this person is about and the energy they're giving off. So if you're cutting yourself off from that, that's already a display that you're cutting yourself off from the emotions that you're experiencing. Number two, you do not attract something that is not already within you, right? This isn't a form of shame or victim blaming. This is simply pointing out a universal principle. You cannot bring into your experience something that is not residing within you, whether it's your belief systems, whether it's, what you're giving off energetically, whether it's your fears, etc., etc. You will always attract in equivalence to what you are vibrating to. That is universal principle, just as real as gravity. And so you have to realize that at a fundamental level, when you let these individuals into your experience, there's a reason for it. And that reason is often rooted in insecurities, a lack of self-respect, a lack of self-worth, etc. However the person shows up in your life. And so you will let the enemy into your camp because what the enemy is quote unquote doing to you, you're already doing to yourself. If you're an individual who pities yourself, you're going to attract people who make you feel that sense of self-pity. You already are doing the very same thing to yourself emotionally that anybody who walks into your life that you say is destructive or toxic is doing. Trust me. Sit with yourself for a day. Just go through your thoughts. Get away from the phone. Get away from the computer, get away from the TV, get away from the conversations, Becky, Susie, and Alan. Get away from all of that and be with your thoughts for a day, and you will see just how abusive you probably are within your own thought process with yourself. Not running from the emotion, not running from the thoughts or trying to project them away from you. No, just be with them, sit with the emotions and see. And you will see that before you even get into 15 minutes of that day, you don't even need a whole day. 15 minutes in, you'll see, oh, man, I'm hard on myself. Oh my goodness, why would anybody talk to anybody like that? But yet you're talking to yourself like that. You're treating you in that way. Even when we scare ourselves, right? Louise Hay talks about it. Louise Hay, I believe. Shout out to Hay House. Definitely going to have some books drop on that one because she built a superb publishing company. Anyway, she speaks on, how we're so mean to ourselves, like how we're so cruel to ourselves, how we beat ourselves up. And we genuinely do. At a physical level, we might not see it, but when we talk about emotional, when we talk about at a soul level, psychological, we beat ourselves up in most cases, and we see it as the norm. But when somebody else is doing it to us, now we're calling this person all kinds of narcissists and borderlines, which again, I get it for a multitude of, for some circumstances and situations. But in more cases than not, we are merely just getting a reflection or a mirror of what we're believing about ourselves. And once we face that, we can actually get to the solution of this. We can actually get to solving the problem. Now, I've created a multitude of videos on exactly how to do this. And if you go through them, you will get the master keys. But for anybody who's trying to take it to that next level and truly get the hands-on guidance, make sure to book a one-on-one consultation with me. You can go into my description below, click on my Calendly link, book a day, book a time that works for you and works for me, and let's really crack this code for you. You don't have to live this way. There is a way out, and there is a way into true freedom. You were not born to be this. You were born to be far greater, far more than you ever could have even imagined. And I'm getting to experience that within my life because of the choices I've then made and because of the dedication to the process that I've given myself to, of freeing myself completely. So I thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel wherever it's housed. Make sure to follow along the journey. Make sure to like this video and share it with somebody that you love. You can remix it if they're still doing that when you watch this, right? You can clip a piece of it and make shorts out of it. Do whatever you got to do to get the word out or just to continue to remind yourself of this vital, vital message. I appreciate you. I love you. Peace.